The previous video in this series compared product-based and project-based approaches to Agile development efforts. This video shows the features for managing Agile efforts using the ServiceNow ITBM Agile 2.0 application following the Scrum framework. Linked timecodes for these topics appear in the YouTube description for this video. Many of these features are gathered right here on the Agile board, where you can create stories, plan backlogs, plan sprints, track the progress of sprints, and get analytics. Let's start with creating a story, the fundamental unit of work in the Agile framework. A story is a simple, clear definition of a software capability, like a shopping cart. One key element of the story is the description. In the Scrum framework, a story is typically expressed as a simple sentence of the form, as a certain type of user, I want a certain feature so that I can perform a certain function. To continue our example, as a shopper, I want a shopping cart so that I can collect items I want to buy. We'll summarize that here. Another key element of the story is the acceptance criteria, test conditions that determine when the story has been fully implemented. These conditions are often expressed in the form, given a certain condition, when I perform a certain action, then a certain thing happens. To continue our example, given that I'm on a product page, when I click Add to Cart, the product is added to the cart. You'd add lots more criteria to test the function thoroughly, but that's the idea. Another element of the story is the points, which is the estimated amount of effort it'll take to implement the story. We'll say this story will take 10 points. We'll see how points are used a little later. Here's where you assign the story to a theme or epic, to a release, and to a group or person. When we save the story, it appears in the backlog. A backlog is basically a list of stories awaiting implementation. You can filter the backlog to show just what you want. This backlog shows all the stories that haven't been completed and that haven't been assigned to a sprint. What if we want to filter this down further to only see the stories for release 8.1? We'd create a new backlog, give it a name, and add a condition. Release is 8.1. When we save the filter, we only see the stories for release 8.1, and we can choose that filter again anytime. Let's look at the full list again. In the backlog, the stories are arranged in order of priority. During the development effort, the product owner determines which stories are implemented first by managing the order of the backlog. Here, we'll increase the priority of these stories by moving them up in the list. This flexibility helps respond to changing requirements and circumstances. Earlier, we mentioned that stories can be grouped in epics and themes. Here are the epics we've defined so far, and here are the stories in the Customer Portal epic. Now let's take a look at sprints. A sprint is a period of a few weeks where a group of developers implement a specific set of stories. This display lets you create sprints and assign stories to them. These are the sprints for the CRM engineering team. Here are the stories in the CRM Sprint 5 sprint. These stories haven't been assigned to a sprint yet. Let's create a new sprint called CRM Sprint 8. We'll use the supplied start and end dates and save. Now let's assign these stories to the new sprint. A minute ago, we mentioned story points, the amount of effort it'll take to implement the story. Here's the total points for all the stories in this sprint, and here's the percentage of the team's capacity that point total represents. This sprint looks safely within the team's capacity, but this sprint may be at risk. To fix that, we'll move one of the stories to a different sprint. Here in the Groups list, you can set the team's default capacity. And here in the form for an individual sprint, you can set the team's capacity for just that sprint. You can see a team's velocity here, its production capacity based on its recent performance. When a sprint's underway, you can track its progress here on the sprint board. You can move stories along on the task board as they're worked on and completed. Here you can check the burn down for an entire release or for a specific team and sprint. And here you can check the counts for points and stories. This chart shows the stories assigned to our 2 teams stacked by state: draft, in progress, complete, and so on. Now here are the stories in each epoch, again stacked by state. Altogether, these features make it easy to launch and manage Agile development efforts. For more information, please consult our product documentation, knowledge base, or podcast, or ask a question in the ServiceNow community.